We were introduced to the Swedish land registry in 2015, first, when they wanted to actually rebuild their whole IT systems for their land registry. Usually they do that once in a lot of years, so like once in like 10 to 20 years of upgrading systems. So they wanted all the cutting edge technologies that were out there in the market. So one of them was a blockchain. So basically, this is how the process looks like in Sweden today. You have the buyer, you have the seller, you have the buyer's bank, you have the seller's bank, you have the real estate agent, which is also the lawyer, and the land registry itself. Now the process is involved with the sale agreement, the mortgage agreement, down payment, full payment, mortgage deed transfer, and the title bank. So you need, essentially, to be effective, you need all the players on the value chain in order to create a very efficient way to streamline the whole process and make it more secured and decentralized. Now, the process in Sweden is like 3 months plus. It's very heavy, paper-based process. There is a lot of fraud because people can take double mortgage on your house and homes. Nobody will know it because nobody will be able to trace it back. We took down the whole process, and each step of the way on the business process and the workflow, we recorded everything on the blockchain. So that means that every player on that specific value chain is connected to that basically application, and then you can, and then it's a very easy and friendly way for the buyer and the seller. Now, essentially, what it creates is like an audit log where everything happened as it's supposed to happen because it's recorded on the blockchain. It's kind of like a proof of execution that everything happened as it's supposed to be, and if somebody is putting some wrong malicious during the process or during the workflow, essentially you can take it to court to say, hey, this guy put something malicious on the workflow, and then you can trace it easily on the audit trail. So everything with the data is transparent, which is good for blockchain-based solutions, and they're willing to share the data with parties as well, which is also good for blockchain-based solution, because essentially for a blockchain to be effectively, you need to share it with others. Because everything will be traceable on the blockchain, less bureaucracy as well, there will be no papers. Everything can be uploaded to the application and then can be recorded on the blockchain. So essentially, it's also the fraud problem, because then they kind of like will scare malicious guys to do malicious things, because then you will have like an immutable proof that whatever they did, and you cannot deny that they did it. So it will be a faster way to court as well. And as well, a better customer experience for customers as well, because the process will be much, much faster than what it's going today. We also see a lot of use cases in commercial real estate. For example, how you can streamline the leasing process as well using the blockchain, because there are a lot of fraud in the process. It's long and extensive with a lot of players. Also, sharing data between real estate developers that they can identify properties very, very easily, which are close to default and so forth. There is a case, for example, that not a lot of citizens can own a complete apartment, but they want to still own a real estate apartment. So, and right now there is no way to make it liquid, to make it transparent, and so forth. So blockchain solution can essentially help in that retrospective, so they can actually manage to trade their digital asset, their personal ownership of the apartment more and more efficiently. Also, what I failed to say earlier, that also because the process will be faster, it might touch as well interest rates as well, and they will be lower as well. Blockchains are very good for data protection and security. It also touches in cybersecurity issues, which I think nobody touched today. As my previous colleague from IBM mentions, there is something which is called Byzantine fault tolerance, which is a solution basically to prevent from different computers going down if one is affected from a certain virus, or if one computer got plugged off or something, or shut down. And it's also good for data protection and more enriched data privacy as well. That's basically it. Thank you very much.
Working with governments, it's also a plus because then you can actually educate the government as well on policy and what needs in order to move blockchain applications, in order to move it to production. Governments, as you mentioned, don't have a lot of budget, but as I mentioned, it's good as well for stamping and say, hey, you are good at what you're doing. We are more focused on the Asian part of the world, India, Thailand, Singapore as well. China is an interesting market, Japan, all of the Asian market, Europe. There are a lot of associations also in different kind of industries, for example, mortgage association in the US. There is the PRIA Association, which is the title association in the US, and they are trying for many, many years to build a standard not related to blockchain activities, and it's very, very hard. So I guess you will have a few standards along the way that will gain the most adoption, but right now it's early. There is still not a good solution that is ready to production because you still need to have private data as well on ledger, but it will come along. It's a young field. It's just like the internet in the 90s.